Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of the Campaign Countdown. We're really excited to be here with today with Robert Livingston from Kaiju Dayz, and we're going to be talking all about his Kickstarter, which is live now. Welcome everyone in the chat. I see Dollar Coins is over there. What's up, Dollar Coins? And everyone watching live, we really appreciate that, and everyone watching on the replay, we appreciate that as well. And well, without further ado, thank you so much, Robert, for joining us today and giving us some of your time.
Hey, it's
How are
no
you doing?
problem. I'm incredibly happy to be here. Really
Perfect.
great, and I thank you for inviting me on here.
Oh, you're very welcome. I love the art, and it really captured my eyes. So I was super excited to learn more about the comic today with all our viewers. So yeah, why don't you tell us? Obviously we introduced your name, but why don't you tell us a little about yourself, who you are,
Oh, hi.
and
Oh, yeah.
why you got into comics?
My name is Robert Livingston. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but moved out to Queens, where I currently live right now. I've been doing comics, well, writing them since around 2015, I would say. But when I first started, I just wrote a lot of small stuff. Like, I used to work on superhero comics, but they were very small scale. I never put them up. I've got like half a folder full of
Really?
just like random superhero comics on my computer that I've never posted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was back when I was like working
Maybe I'll have to put
retail
those
and
out
shit.
sometime.
I mean, it depends. It really depends. There's like a little history with them. Nothing bad, but it's not like you're missing anything if I post them
Fair
or
enough.
not.
That's cool. But so it sounds like you've had an interest in comics for a long time then.
Oh yeah, it's funny because when I was a kid, it was like I tried to ignore my love of comics, which is like it's really stupid because I used to be one of those like dumbass kids who thought things were almost like how they were in fucking TV and shit, where you got your nerds and your jocks and shit, and I was just like, I'm no nerd. I'm gonna try to be a jock, so I'm
That's
gonna
funny.
reject comics and I'm gonna try to play sports and stuff. So for like most of my middle school and the early days of high school, I tried to be like a sports guy. I would I would try out for like the teams we had, basketball, rugby, all that kind of shit. I did okay for rugby, but then like the rugby team got canceled because like someone got injured during training. The school was like, oh, we can't support, because it was a teacher that was pushing it. And I just remember those days because it was actually pretty fun, not gonna lie. I kind of wish I was still as physically active as I used to be back when I was in high school.
I feel that. Definitely can relate to that. Well, that's cool, man. And then how did you kind of get into making your current comics? How did you bridge the gap between those early comics to where you are now?
Oh god, I'm trying to think of where to
Mm-hmm.
start. The major thing was getting a job which could support my habit like better than working fucking retail could. Because when I first was doing retail, you're not making shit at retail. You're getting paid pennies. And I could really not work on. I had to work with like maybe 3 other people when I was first doing my comics. And one time, they like the 2 other people I was working with, I was paying things off. They literally just like they all had like financial situations happen at the same fucking time, and I had to like pick up the slack and pay off the rest of this like one comic we were doing. And it wasn't until I got like my current job at at a hospital I work at, where I was really able to start like diving in and start doing more comics, because hey, I now had the more disposable income to pay artists without worrying about if I could make my bills and crap.
That is kind of nice, yeah.
And it was generally because I had stories I wanted to tell, because at first I wanted to be a conventional writer. I wanted to do novels. I wanted to do like poets and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a short time. I would work on like short stories in the journal I had, but to be honest, I can't remember when I made like the big shift into comics. It was like I just went in there because I just felt like it would be something I wanted to try, and eventually it just became a thing that I just felt like I was good at.
Wow. That's cool, man. And so, how many comics then have you made then? It sounds like you've made a few before. Am I?
So far I've made several issues of, well, I would say like, was it 4 or 5? Yeah, 5 issues of my webcomic Tom and Artie.
Oh,
And
that's
there's
dope.
all
Okay.
yeah, there's
Let's
also
see if I can
Kaiju.
pull it up here for you. Where's the Do you have a link on your Twitter for that?
You can go on my main. You can go on like my main Twitter. That's linked to the
Okay. Well, yeah. What is your main Twitter, by the way?
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
kind
If
of
you
I know
go
your
if you
name.
go on the Kaiju Days page, it's like
Hmm.
I'm listed on the first one there, the
Gotcha.
Admiral
There you
Lavender
are.
Twitter, and
Perfect.
from there you'll see a link to like
I'm gonna follow you on that one
all
as
my
well.
other stuff right, all
That's
my
cool,
other
man. I
stuff
didn't
right
even know
there.
you had that. For some reason, I thought that was your main account. My bad.
Oh no, it's
I
all
could
right because
totally find you on there.
I barely use my main Twitter because I'm always like I rarely ever post about my personal life. Like everything on my main Twitter is just memes and video games and retweeting my comic work or retweeting my friends' work. It's like, I've kept like this kind of line between like my comic work and like my personal life, which is, I know
Okay. Oh,
some.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
This
like,
is
some of the
awesome. Okay.
people, some
I'm
people
so
don't
glad I'm
even.
connecting with you finally on this, man. Because I realized like, oh yeah, I've been following your other work for a while now. It's like putting the two and two together.
Yeah, and I know it's like kind of a problem because I never really put myself out there like that because I just didn't want to. It's like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like an amazingly interesting person in real life, and that's just the
Let your
end
work
all.
speak for you in a
Yeah,
way.
exactly. It's just like the end all be all. I know some people say like, oh, you gotta sell your work and you gotta sell yourself at the same time. But I'm just like, I'm not gonna pretend I'm like this, the world's most interesting man
Right,
of all
right.
time. Like, yeah, I've got stories in my life. I've had weird crap in my life, but I'm not gonna say that I've lived through everything. I've like, I've gone through Nam.
But it still seems none all that, despite all that, definitely seems like you have a really unique voice and, something that you want to tell with your stories here.
Oh yeah, it was the major
I'm
struggle
gonna
when it
put this
came
up.
to
This is
like
so cool.
writing comics was just learning it was one thing, organizing projects is another, but it's like the mental struggle when it comes to comics. I'm not saying mental in terms of making your
Hmm.
stuff and things like that. I mean mental in, because you know how it works with the internet age nowadays, where everyone wants to be the next big thing. Everyone wants to make that project that they think is going to be, this is going to be top of the charts. This is going to be the next Captain Underpants or Dog Man.
Right?
but
Yeah, really.
but at the end of the day, you just kind of realize, you probably will never hit that tier, or you
It's
might,
it's
you
you
might.
might, yeah, you might, but
You,
I guess what you're saying, it sounds like it's not shouldn't be the goal. Maybe it should,
It's more,
right?
yeah, it is very much the journey. Or
Mm,
set your
mm,
goal, you
maybe,
set your
yeah.
goals. It's fun to have goals. It's good to have goals. It's good to have things you strive on. Like maybe you want to be a writer for the big two. Maybe you want to be an artist for the big two. Maybe you want to work on a movie. All these things that you say personally that you want to do. There's nothing wrong with having that goal be at the end of your day. But just realize that the goal you want is not going to happen in a heartbeat. It's not
Mm,
going to happen. It's probably not going to
mm.
happen at the end of the year when you do your first comic. It's probably not going to happen in 5 years as you're working on your stuff. For all you
Mhm.
know, it's going to happen when you're like 40 or you're
Yeah,
close
I
to.
mean, that's very true. Yeah, it happens a lot.
I know
And
it's because like a lot of people with the media, they want to constantly show you the success stories,
mhm.
the man or woman in their 20s who they bought up a home, they built a property, they're a multi-millionaire, all that stuff. But the key to that is they'll tell you their end, but they don't tell you how they got there.
Mm,
They don't tell you who they were related to. They don't tell you where they grew up. They don't tell you who their parents are. They don't tell you what friends they had. They don't tell you all these things that they could have had to give them a leg up. Even same
interesting.
things in comics. I remember one time when I was listening to like the Hench Girl creator, Christine Goodsnook, I think that's her name, when she was talking at the conference, and she said she was like making Hench Girl for like a couple of years at that point as a webcomic, and she was barely getting, you know, a lot of views. Like the only people who would reply to it would be people on Reddit threads and stuff like that. And that was the thing that kept her going for a short time, was because she kept thinking she didn't want to disappoint these people. But then one day she managed to get like a table at New York Comic Con. And while she was at New York Comic Con, that was when like a scout from one of the bigger industries, they like, you know, asked if they could see her portfolio, and bada bing, bada boom. That's, you know, where it kicked off from there.
Man, yeah, that's really all it takes. You know, it just takes one moment.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's about building up. It's like you said, it's about that journey of how you know, and the moments will come along the way, but it's really about the journey.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because not everyone's gonna have like the same opportunities as everyone else.
True, that's very true. And everyone gets to success in a different way, right? It's not always going to look the same for everybody.
Oh yeah, of course. That's like the main thing about it. Because I mean, I've once or twice had creators who would tell me, if you want to get successful, you need to do this, you need to do that, because that worked for me. And it's just, yeah, it worked for you, but who's to say it's going to work for me?
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If it is any consolation though, or any boost of confidence, and we do have in the chat here that your writing speaks for itself and cool projects along the way. So definitely have some support here in the chat for you. And well, yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, why don't we go ahead and start talking about the comic? We're about to take a look at the Kickstarter here in just a few moments. I'm gonna put the link up on the screen, so people want to go take a look at it while and follow along with us can do so as well. But it will be up on the screen. We'll be taking a visual look at it. But
yes.
You know, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your comic is? It's a double feature. We have Kaiju Dayz and Serpent Specter, two comics that are launching together on this campaign. Why don't you tell us a little about how that came to be, you know, and all that good stuff there.
Well, Serpent Specter is the creation of my of my publisher and editor, Evan Davis. That's his comic, a post-apocalyptic superhero story.
And is your publisher, that's Gen Comics?
Yep, that's my publisher. Now for Kaiju Dayz has had like has had such a weird story, such a weird origin, because Kaiju Dayz, as you see it right now, in its sitcom format as a comic about a kaiju family living life's lessons each literal destructive day at a time. You know, Godzilla meets Family Matters. It didn't start out like that. No.
Really?
No. It first started out as a comic called President Kaiju. And it
Kaiju.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be about a kaiju who wanted to like make Monster Island into a sovereign nation because you know, attacking cities wasn't working anymore.
Oh wow.
So he tried to play it through politics. And the only reason I didn't do it at that time, and I had like some concept art of like the early character designs back then, because Big Mama was created for that story. She was actually like a side character. She was like a supporting character. And it was originally she was a supporting character, like I had said, and the story would have been like a lot more serious. The only reason I didn't do that plot was because it was around the time of like the 2016 election, and I didn't want people thinking I was making some parallels to the like the election.
That's fair, man. Yeah.
So yeah, I put it on hold.
And then over the years, it just kind of developed into its own thing.
Yeah, over the years, it developed into a new version, Kaiju Dayz, because originally I was going to pitch Kaiju Dayz as a cartoon.
Ah, okay, I can see that. It really does have that kind of Saturday morning cartoon feel to it, you know?
Yeah, and I did like, you know, we actually have animatics up and everything. We have animatics with like voice actors like Lila Burzins, Kathy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, her last name is kind of hard for me to pronounce. I need to ask her how she pronounces her last name. And Gianni Matrigano was in a few of the shorts we had as well.
Oh, that's cool. Very nice.
And you know, it pretty much was what you see in the comic right there. That was being used for a comic pitch. I mean, for a cartoon pitch. I mean, even to be honest, the first issue you're seeing here, it's actually a redone. It's actually like an edited, redone version of the pilot script. So what you're reading in issue 1 is actually how it was supposed to be on like an act on the show. Like that's what the pilot was going. That's what the pilot was
Okay.
going to be. And it was funny because when I was writing the issue 1 script, I had already done like the edits to the pilot. I had like done all the edits to the pilot. So I was writing a different script at first, and I was talking to my editor, Evan, and he was looking at the stuff I was giving him because I kept feeling like the intro I had was too long and all these other stuff, and he was like, "Dude, you need to give something better here." And then I just said, "Look, I actually wrote a pilot script right here. Read the pilot because I'm thinking about just using this for the first issue." And then he read the pilot. And he got back to me a day later. He's just like, "Dude, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. This is what you need to do. This is the perfect script for this."
Wow, really? So it kind of all just fell into place like that.
Yeah, I mean, I still rewrote it. I still rewrote like the
Parts of it, I would
pilots.
think, right?
Yeah, I rewrote the entire script.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh, wow.
rewrote the entire pilot as like a comic script because I felt like if I just gave it to an artist and it was just a pilot script, it would be like more complex for the artist
That
to
makes
figure
sense, yeah.
out where scenes go and what scenes would work and things like that. That was what had happened.
That totally
And
makes sense, yeah.
yeah, and so I rewrote the entire thing, and I added some more additional stuff to it, like the fight. Like there is a fight scene at the end, and the fight scene, it was actually originally shorter in the pilot, but I extended it in the comic itself.
Right, because with
And
the comic scene, you kind of have a little more real estate for a fight scene like that, you know?
yeah, exactly. I mean, because you gotta remember, even with the original
Oof.
animatics, I was paying for that out of
Yeah, I
pocket.
can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
I
aren't
was
cheap, you know?
working with the colorist on it. Esther Pimentel, also known as
Mm, mhm.
Gilly. She was doing the animatics, and even at the rate I was paying her for those animatics, I know I was getting like the friend rates because I know animation is expensive no matter
Oh,
what
yeah.
way you put it.
So true, man.
That's what you got to remember. Animation is just dummy
Whew.
expensive.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's so true, man.
yeah, exactly. So I knew I was still getting like the friend rates no matter which way she put it. And
Oh,
eventually
yeah.
I just
Mhm.
went, you know what? I'm not gonna, even if I get all this organized, I have like zero contacts in animation. I only know like maybe 2 people that are in animation right now.
We actually have
So
a couple comments and then a question here real quick. I remember seeing the animatics at Ichi 5. Sorry if I'm
it
mispronouncing your
yeah,
name there.
it's like icky. It's like icky 5.
Okay, Icky 5.
You
Okay,
know,
cool,
like
cool. I appreciate you having me my back there.
it's like kind of
Icky 5.
taken from the dinosaur.
Okay. I gotcha. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm picking that up. And then they also say voice talent was so much fun, and
Oh yeah,
asks
the
what
voice talent.
studio
The
did you
voice talent.
pitch it to?
Oh, originally, well, the irony is that back when I was going to pitch it, I was talking with the voice actress who voiced Big Mama Lila, and she was telling me that she would have helped me pitch it to Adult Swim at the time because she had like contacts in Adult Swim. And
Oh
I
man.
thought about it, I considered it, but ultimately I decided to go with the comic route.
What's interesting is that you bring that up because Adult Swim is that the tone that ultimately you landed on with the comic of that kind of like an more adult or where did you kind of land with that?
Um, it was never like overt. The comic isn't really overtly adult.
Okay,
Like
so
in
yeah,
terms of
maybe
the comic, it's
yeah.
only like adult in the fact that there's like the like the action scenes, like the fights.
See, I feel like
They get
I feel
violent.
like it would be almost like a better fit at a Toonami then,
It
almost
probably
right.
would. It's just that like pitching a cartoon right now is really really
Oof,
hard. Well, in
I
fact, it's
bet,
never
yeah.
been easy. Like pitching a cartoon takes like you'll need like years of working in the industry to do it,
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
or you'll be working on it for like a long, or you'll get like insanely lucky. I mean, one of the ways you do it now is that you have to make like a comic project for it. That's one way, but the comic needs to get like really, really popular. Either like really, really popular, or you make friends with like the right people. It's like it's like what I said earlier. It's all a game.
Now,
It's all.
sorry to interrupt you there. I'm being told, is there a trailer?
Oh
for
yeah, I
tonight?
actually could talk about it. Yeah, okay, John. I was trying to upload the trailer today, but my internet connection was just like not having it on the upload. So I had to shut it down like partway through, and I was gonna try again, but by the time I tried again, it did not finish in time for the for this.
Okay, gotcha. Is it going to be on YouTube at some
Yeah,
point?
it's
You think,
gonna be
or?
on our YouTube account. That's where I was gonna
Okay,
be
cool.
putting
We'll
it.
definitely plug that when it comes out, because that sounds cool. I definitely want to check that out. I love a good
Yeah.
trailer, man.
Yeah, of course, John was the one who did it. This man slaved away for like 3 days to do it. 3 days.
Well, yeah, we definitely got to see it then at some point for sure.
Yeah,
Well, yes,
we had to scrape together like everything we had to like put it in there.
well, yes, as you all can see, we have the Kickstarter up here on our screen, and currently about halfway through the goal, which is very awesome to see. I love to see that. Congratulations on your progress so far.
Oh yeah, it's really great. It's really great.
Definitely,
See, it's
man.
going up a little bit more too. That's great. That's great to see.
Good, excellent.
Almost
yeah,
at
definitely.
1.6K right there. Hey,
Woo!
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we're definitely gonna be back in this book as well. You know, once we're done, we'll be putting our 2 cents in. You know, metaphorically speaking.
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
awesome.
yeah, definitely love to see you guys succeed there. It
Oh
looks
man,
like a really fun couple books.
dude. I'm gonna be honest that I did like the setup on this campaign. I
Uh-huh.
commend like Evan did a great job. He did a great job setting up this campaign. It's just like there's some other stuff I would have included in here, but you know, like I said, he did great. He did great.
It's always on a hindsight 2020. Like, you always pick out things where you know, it's always hard to you say you're always done with it, right? You're like, always something you
Yeah,
could have done
there's
or
Evan right
done.
there.
Yeah.
He's at one of his
So, I
conventions,
feel that.
presenting the publisher, doing his
Yes.
thing.
Hey, I can relate, man. I've been there. You know, I've been in that exact same boat there myself.
I haven't tabled it. I honestly haven't tabled at con since
Really?
2019. Oh yeah,
Oh
since
yeah, us too.
2019.
You know, we're trying to get back into it right now. We're trying to get hopefully by the end of the year, fingers crossed, we'll be getting back into conventions. But it's been kind of such a disruption.
Oh, it's
We used to go
been
to tons of conventions, man.
same here. I used
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
like a major convention guy.
Right?
Not even just for like selling stuff. I was more
Yeah.
like, you know, going with my friends
Same.
and like cosplaying and stuff like that. I
Oh,
love
nice. Oh,
cosplay.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Oh
I've
yeah,
never
I
done that
loved
far.
cosplay.
I think the only
want to get back in. I still want to get back into cosplay.
What's
It's
like your favorite cosplay you've done?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. My favorite cosplay was maybe back in like Katsucon of like the like I would say 2016. No, I was like maybe it's like 2017ish, around that time, 2016, 2017ish. It's that I cosplayed as Raptor Jesus, like the internet meme. Like I had like this custom made, I had like this custom made raptor head and the claws too. And I would always, you know, it was like the talk of the con for what's a KatsuCon and MagFest, and like everyone knew me for
Nice.
that. And all my friends would stick with me for that because I would be like the key to getting them into room parties. Like if I showed up like after the con was done, if I showed up in the main hall or any hallway, we would get into any room party. I just had to show up at the door and we could get into any room
That's
party.
awesome.
And there's still people that recognize me for that. I remember the last con I did was maybe Colossal Con a year ago or something like that. And me and my friends, like, we were going to a room party that was going on. And at the door, there was a guy this guy checking IDs and stuff. And he gets to like me and my friends, and he checks my ID and he looks at me. He's like, "Hey, hey, Raptor Jesus, your friends, they're cool, right?" I was like, huh?
Friends of Raptor Jesus.
He's like, Raptor Jesus, you're cool. Your friends are cool. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, they're fine.
That's a good one, dude. That is pretty epic, man. And then if you get to go back and do some more cosplay, hopefully you'll get to reprise the Raptor Jesus, and you know, Raptor Jesus shall live again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's funny, man. Well, yeah, definitely. Hopefully you guys can get the Kaiju Days out there. I bet that would be really popular one at conventions, I feel like.
Oh
So
yeah,
speaking of which, here we have I assume this is is this the standard cover?
yeah. That's the standard cover.
Very nice.
We have 2 variant covers, but
Oh,
they're
really?
not.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not listed on that page either.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't we? So we have the campaign here, and then of course the tiers that we'll go through. And before we get into the tiers, though, I am curious. You've talked a little bit about the story so far. What can you tell us about like the difference between Kaiju Dayz and Serpent Specter? Like what kind of stories are we getting into when
Well,
we
Serpent
dive into those?
Specter is a more dramatic, serious story,
Oh,
and
okay.
Kaiju Days is a more comedic story.
Oh, nice. So you
I
kind
mean,
of balance
obviously
each other out that
differences
way.
in size because Kaiju Days is about giant monsters.
Right, yeah, definitely. And Serpent Specter is not a giant,
Yeah,
not a
it's
kaiju.
soup. He's like a genetically altered mutant. That's the best way to put it for
Okay,
Serpent Specter.
but
I'm taking from
regular
like
snake
Evan's
size.
notes. Yeah. It's like he's like a snake mutant being.
That's cool. And okay, this is something I've been kind of curious about, and is this a thing where these are going to be separate stories, or are they going to be set in the same universe where we might see some sort of crossover at some
Separate
point?
stories. They're
Separate stories. Okay.
Yeah, they're separate.
Okay, so these are standalone stories you can pick up and read alone, and you don't have to know any prior knowledge or
Yep.
anything like that. Okay,
Yep. Very
cool,
much.
cool, cool. I like that. It is very accessible for new readers, which is I think, a good way to start.
Oh yeah, of course.
With a
Jumping
campaign
into
like this.
like big universe stuff in the first few
That's
issues
tough.
isn't. Yeah, it's tough. It's not the best thing. I say that because I've tried to write that stuff with my friends before, and it's like it always becomes a mess.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, mythologies. I don't know if anybody has seen the new Fast and Furious movie, but Vin Diesel just recently said that mythologies are hard. He compared himself to Tolkien.
How can he
And
compare himself to Tolkien with the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Is it because like Fast and Furious is all his career has left? I think that's
Practically.
it.
I
It's
think
pretty
so,
much
but
that.
but I think it is because he thinks of it's like he thinks of Fast and Furious as like the Lord of the Rings, where he thinks of it.
Dude,
It's got all those, like...
he's messed up his career. Fast and Furious is all he has left. No one wanted that last Riddick movie.
Or the Bloodshot
movie was awful.
Triple X, the Triple X.
All he had was like, and all he does in Guardians of the Galaxy is just say, "I am Groot."
Well, that to be fair, that is his best role. I do, I would always say I'll give him.
Dude, it's kind of sad if you're an actor and that's your best role. I mean, maybe it takes some input, but if your best role is that you need to say one word,
family.
Yeah, family. Family.
Although we do have some contention in the chat. Icky says Fast and Furious is a poetic masterpiece.
Yeah, poetic masterpiece at what point? Because I checked out by like 7. I think I saw 7 and I was just like, I'm done. That's it. That's all.
But it is true. Regardless of whether he's crazy or not, it is true. Mythologies are hard.
Making stories in general is just hard because especially if you're taking in audience reaction, because you think about what exactly people will want and what exactly will get them interested in stories. Because I mean, I have like future pitches I'm working on, and the top thing I've been thinking about as I'm writing these is just like, okay, I need to keep the audience interest. I need to make a story that keeps them wanting to wonder what's going to happen next. How is this going to work? Where is it going to go? Kaiju Dayz is one example, is one thing like that, where constantly I was going, I need to keep the reader engaged with this story because we've already got the novelty of giant monsters being the main character. There's not a lot of comics that are doing that right now.
Not really. No.
Yeah, it instantly wins a lot of people over just with the novelty.
Oh, I never thought about that. You're right, because we always see that from the perspective of the humans.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like, all right, we've got that, but we still need a story that keeps them engaged. And even though it's like, a sitcom-esque plot where, Big Mama is trying to prepare Junior and Pistania for the world ahead via her little training sessions with them, it's still a dangerous world for like kaiju in this, because this isn't a world where humanity just kind of lays over and just takes takes the kaiju beating on their city. No, they fight back. They do fight back. There's things in this universe that I have planned that are gonna be expanded on. Like, for example, this comic series is not just gonna be on Earth. No, there's alien races out there.
Alien kaijus?
There's alien kaiju.
There we go.
There's alien kaiju.
Nice.
There's giant robots. There's magic elements.
Heck
There's a
yeah,
lot. There's a
dude.
lot of that stuff. It's like an amalgamation of a lot of things that I love
That's
in
fun.
kaiju movies.
That's
So
cool. I really like that, man, because there's really a lot of fun stuff you can play with kaiju. There's a really cool genre. in that way.
exactly. It's
That's
like
awesome.
I always felt half the reason that motivated me for it was just like I felt it was weird that no one was really using kaiju in that sort of light for these stories. Like, everyone makes like a kaiju story, but it's always feels like it's the same thing. Like, the giant monster is rampaging and we need to stop the giant monster and we got to find a way to stop the giant monster. It was one comic that had really piqued my interest on taking a different spin, and that was Kaiju Max by Xander Cannon.
Oh, dude, I think I know that comic. Let me look it up. I believe I picked up an issue of that way back.
I
way
read
back.
like the entire series. It was
Really?
it was a great comic. It was a great comic to me.
Yeah, I totally read an issue of that for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. That makes sense. I could see the inspiration there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That one, you're right. That one's such a unique take on the genre too, as well.
yeah, exactly. It's like one of the comics that got me back into reading comics, to be honest.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh, I see a question there that Icky asked. Will the kaiju face against the Power Rangers? Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I've planned for that like a while ago, and
Oh
I
wow.
talked about that where if for like the Power Rangers group in this universe, because there is a main group that deals with the kaiju, which is Kiru, which stands for Kaiju International Response Union.
Neo Star says, or Ultraman.
Yeah, and oh yeah, there's that's next I'll go into. But yes, I have planned for like another issue is that there is a Power Rangers group, but the Power Rangers in Kaiju Dayz are pretty much PMCs.
Damn.
They're explicitly PMCs.
I like this one
But
here.
and for the Ultraman thing, yes, there is an Ultraman character named Hypernova. And Hypernova, there is some artwork of Hypernova, but he doesn't appear in this issue. It's just that Hypernova is another defender of humanity type. And the thing about his character is that he actually winds up, he's like Big Mama's greatest rival. He's one of her biggest rivals. And it's supposed to be some funny situation because they hate the shit out of each other, but Hypernova is like their neighbor. He's like he literally lives like across the valley from them, is a way to say.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So it's like this constant, just like this constant bickering between them because they hate each other. They hate each other's guts. No lie, they hate each other so freaking much. And he only moved across from her to irritate the hell out of her.
And so that's where kind of the comedy comes from, is the interactions between the kaiju and all that.
Yeah, it's a very character motivated comic.
Nice.
Like, you're more interested in the plights of the characters, but the world itself is still like, you'll be asking questions about how certain things work in the world that will be answered.
Nice. As we get to see the day in the life of a kaiju.
Yeah, well, the day in the life of a training session right there.
Oh, really? Oh, is that okay?
Oh yeah, because the comic opens where the first 2 pages right there. There's a reason why it's called Generic City. It's because this is all big.
Okay.
Pestania is going
Oh,
through
yeah.
like a
Generic City.
training session, and it's
That's
it's
great.
just like it's her imagination. It's like imagination.
Okay.
See another. Let's see. Are the stories ongoing or self-contained? It's a mix. It's a mix. They're relatively. It's like elements of one story will play small roles in other stories, but they are mostly episodic. It's like certain things our characters have done in previous comics, in previous issues, they will learn from and remember. So it's not going to be like whatever happens in this issue won't have an effect on later issue. They will remember these things, and they will learn from these things too.
And so mostly standalone, but there will be elements that carry throughout the series, and you come back to it. Okay.
Yep, pretty much.
Nice. Very nice, man. That's kind of a nice mixture of the serialized and episodic storytelling.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Very nice. And then this is, I think we're seeing Big. Is this Big Mama here?
Yep, that's Big Mama.
Nice.
That's the mom. That's the mom herself.
Definitely lives up to the name. I feel like.
Yeah, and talking down to her daughter Pestania, letting her know that hey.
You say you congrats you're dead or softened up enough for an airstrike.
Yeah, because she tripped.
Great.
She tripped, took too long to get up, and Big Mama's chastising her during the training session.
It's like, yeah, it's not gonna cut it, kid.
You're gonna have to do better. You're gonna have to do better. Do better, Pestania.
Oh man, that's great, man.
And then you go down there, and it's just them talking. Big Mama's chastising her for the fact that she's not really living up to being a big threat.
I really like the art style. Who does the art there?
Ninja Haiku Art 21. That's her handle.
Moniker.
Yeah, that's her moniker.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
I mean, right now her account is like currently going through like the Twitter BS where they're just like they're kind of banning random accounts who they think are false, so she's fighting to get it back. But yeah, that's her. That's the name she goes by.
Very nice, and the art style is really expressive.
Oh yeah, and the coloring is done by Gilly Art, also known as Esther Pimentel, and the lettering is done by Christian Dokomansky.
Nice, you got a really great team together.
Oh yeah, it's a really awesome team that came together for this book. It's funny because I've gone through like maybe because originally Gilly was going to be the main artist for the book, and then that changed to another friend of mine, Reed Hawker, but Reed Hawker couldn't commit to like doing a full comic. He could still do small artwork and stuff like that, but he couldn't commit to the full book. And eventually we just said, we're going to do like an open call for artists on Twitter to see what we get, which originally I did not like doing because, looking for artists on Twitter just feels like the most annoying thing to do. And it really was. I'm not gonna lie, it really was.
Did you get a lot of bots coming out?
Of course. Anytime you advertise on Twitter, you're gonna get like 100 bots that are coming out.
Yeah, really.
You're gonna get like 100 bots that are coming out. So like, hey, me and my graphic art design, we can do work for you. And every time I get that, I just think like, dude, who is falling for this? Are there people actually falling for this? Are there people who are getting this and just be like, oh hey, this seems good? Or people who you put up that you're doing a comic project, and then you'll have people who do like graphic design and crap like with just logos, and they're messaging you going like, hey, I can work on your thing. I'm just thinking, wow, why? How?
No, this is a good one here in the chat. So is it how do you pronounce the name? Pestania?
Pestania. Is it?
Neo starts with Pestania, you bum. Give it time, little pasta won't make a monster out of you yet.
I see Cody's in there. He just said the same thing I was saying. Like, yes, the graphic designers who all do like the Twitch logos and everything like that. I never know if people are actually. I never know if those are real people or not. That's the thing. because I can never fathom that that someone who's just doing Twitch logos is looking at a comic project and thinking, yeah, I could tell, yeah, I could do that. I could totally do that.
Nah, well, it's just weird. Because I told you what you mean. Like you put it the minute you put it out, they somehow know. Like they must have some sort of alerts going, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They probably do, or they're just constantly checking on there to see, like,
It's
I could I could totally do this. Like, hey, I could totally do this. Where it's like, no, no, like,
Yeah,
no,
that's funny,
no.
man.
It's, I mean, to be honest, the one part I hate of like the creative process is when I have to like find people for a comic, because it will be like maybe a week or two, depending. Thankfully, when it came to Ninja submitting for the book, it took like, it only took a few days. It was like the
Good.
quickest time it took me to pick an artist.
That's cool.
But everything else was always, it would take me like 2 weeks of like constant submission before maybe
Oof.
I see someone that I like, or I finally have it narrowed down to a few people and I finally pick someone that I do like for a book. But nowadays, since I have a circle built up, if I get an idea, I'll just go to the people in my circle first and ask if they want to work on a book.
No, yeah, that's kind of nice thing about building up a great team like that.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since like nowadays, it just feels like reaching people could be kind of a hassle in itself. Because I mean, to be honest, I don't like to like cold message artists that much. Because I always think that, it doesn't, Twitter DMs suck. Let's be real here. Twitter DMs suck. I've had times where I would get a message and I wouldn't even realize it until like 2 days later. Because sometimes that's how long it takes for the freaking icon to pop up.
Yeah, there's some issues, that's for sure.
oh yeah, you see Junior there.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's our first shot of Junior here coming around the corner.
He comes in, see how well it's doing, because Big Mama was there making Pistania feel bad. Well, making her feel bad by saying like, "Oh, why can't you be more like your brother?"
So Junior's the star of the family.
Yes, Junior is the star quarterback child, pretty much. He's the one who's really good at destroying cities and stuff, because he's built like a freaking tank. He's built like a tank. He's naturally tough. He's like an expert on.
He's like a Godzilla.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. He's got some problems. He's not great at fighting. That's the main thing.
Maybe Godzilla Jr.
Godzilla Jr. No, it's funny you bring that up, because that was like a brief gag, and like, because we did a Godzilla Meets the Family thing, which was a strip, and we did like in a voiced version of it too, and there was one gag near the end where Junior asked, like, "Do you think that this will end up with Godzilla being our dad?"
Oh god.
Oh yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun to work on this comic with like everyone on my team. Like everyone has like such a fun time working on this book.
And Cody says from Ironverse Comics says book looks so fun.
Oh yes, thank you. It's fun to work on.
That's awesome.
Perhaps too fun to work on. No, again, it was just right. It was just the right amount of fun.
I love just the, like, I know I mentioned expressiveness before, but it's just all the movement and the it kind of harkens back to what you said earlier about the Saturday morning cartoon feel, where it really does have that fun energy of a cartoon or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, and it's hard to capture in a comic, I feel like,
Oh yeah, Ninja and Gilly did a great job on capturing it with like the art and the colors too.
True,
everything came together. Everything came together just so perfectly.
Yeah, because the colors complement the line art so well as well. In addition.
yeah, exactly. Everything just came, like I said, everything came together just super duper well. I just wish that, well, we've got plenty built up for. We're probably going to include some little goodies on the campaign after it reaches goal.
Right, and there's always a next campaign you guys can, even go out all more out and with
Oh yeah,
tons
we're
of cool
already.
stuff
Oh
to
yeah,
take on.
I'm actually already writing issue 2.
Oh, okay. I was actually, yeah. So issue 2 is in the works, and so that's something that we'll hopefully be seeing some more
Oh,
about in the
issue
future.
2 is kind of like a hype campaign for it because it's gonna feature like a character who everyone that follows the project loves,
Really?
which is Eviscerex the Conqueror.
Oh, damn. With a
And
name like that, I can't be
no, it's
surprised.
because she is like the reason the project like really, really blew up with people. Because just to say it, she's a sexy looking alien war machine.
Ah, gotcha. Okay,
And
I'm
so
with
when
you
everyone
there.
see and so
That's
when everyone
sounds like
saw
a good
her, they were
project.
just like, okay, I need to check out this book. I need to see this. And because she's going to be appearing next issue, it's probably going to have like a bigger bump in support. Or it's
There
probably going
you
to be
go.
like a bigger burst of people wanting to chime in just because of the fact she appears in the plot is centered around her.
That'll be a good one. I'm excited to see how what the reaction to that will be.
So am I, man. I'm just kind of clamoring to see how they're gonna react when we start
Hmm.
posting up the artwork for issue 2 or like the ideas for covers and stuff like that.
Now, I know this is not your creation with Serpent Specter directly, but is there anything that you can tell us about, the character, or, what we can expect from this comic as well?
Um, Only that the comic itself is a more serious and dramatic story. It's dealing with themes in a superhero universe that are more about redemption,
Hmm.
revenge, and trying to do the right thing in a world that's gone incredibly wrong.
Hmm.
You
That
know,
sounds
like
really interesting.
yeah, society is rebuilding. Serpent Specter is one of the things that's helping society rebuild, but there's a lot of obstacles that are just trying to keep it tethered to the past or a more destructive past.
I really like the look of it. And who's the artist on this?
Oh, it's Evan Davis, the guy, same guy's writing it. He's doing like
Oh,
everything on
really?
that book,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, he's doing like everything on that comic himself.
It's interesting because even though they're different art styles, I feel like they mesh well together. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I agree with that.
and so it's cool. I feel like look, it's cool to see those two comics debut side by side. And so yeah, why don't we start taking a look at the tiers of different stuff that you guys have, and then we can take a look at the add-ons and other stuff as well. But let's start with the different perks that you can get. Of course, you can pledge without a reward if you just want to donate out of the
Hey,
goodness of your
yeah,
heart. You
yeah,
can
nothing
definitely do
wrong with
that.
that.
Definitely, yes. And but then of course we start here with our first uh, tier, Kaiju Curious. So, why don't you take it away and tell us all about that one?
Oh yeah, that campaign goal is going to it myself. Oh yeah, that's when you're just getting a digital copy of Kaiju Dayz issue 1.
Nice. So,
That's your
$5 digital copy PDF.
yep. You'll get
Very nice.
it's around 30 it's 34 pages long. You'll
Nice,
be
man.
get
It's a good sized
you'll
book.
be getting that full comic.
Excellent. And that's a color comic, a
Yep,
full color comic.
full color, 34 pages.
Very nice. And then we got the Serpent Specter sidekick.
Yep, that's getting a digital copy of Serpent Specter on the side too.
Gotcha. And so then I'm gonna guess that the next one is gonna be your digital bundle.
Yeah, digital bundle
Very
for both of
nice.
them at once. And
Nice. Okay, so
then
that's a good one. Yeah.
yeah, and then fifth one, Kaiju Connoisseur, is for a digital copy and the print copy.
Okay, so this is our first physical tier where you can get a printed copy of the book,
Yep,
and this
and
is
the
gonna be
next
your
one,
standard cover,
yeah,
right?
next one for Serpent Specter Savior is same tier, print copy and digital copy with it. And
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, and for the pledge of Gen Comic Super Supporter, you get everything. You get the
Nice,
print
man.
comic and digital comic of both versions.
So very nice. So this is the one if you want to get both comics in print, this is the one to go with here.
Yep,
Then
yep,
very
25
nice.
for that one.
Excellent, man. Well, yeah, that's the one I'm gonna be picking up there because I love my comics in print, man. There's just something about it,
Oh
It
yeah, of
just
course.
the art on the pages, it just always looks so beautiful to me.
Yep, and you
Uh,
also get an option to include that's going to come with the add-ons, the stickers.
Right, which is what we have here. We have the Kaiju Dayz stickers. So with some of our favorite characters here, of course, you got Big Mama and
Big
Junior.
Mama, Junior, Pestania, and Pretera.
Whoa, yeah, we haven't seen that character yet. I don't believe in the art.
Oh yeah, Pretera is the family auntie. She's not actually related to them, but she's Big Mama's friend, and the kid and Pestania and Junior have grown up around her enough that they just call her auntie.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
obviously some sort of an insectoid creature.
Yeah, she's a praying mantis. She's a mutated praying mantis, and she's like the rich auntie. She's the one that as soon as she comes over, they're like Junior and Pestania are happy to see her because she's gonna give them gifts.
Someone said, I'm not sure I get this reference here. Dollar Coin says she's Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, he's right.
Ring a bell to you? Oh really?
Yeah, he's right. Like Wilson was one of the neighbors on the show.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. I'm remembering that now. You're right. Totally.
Every sitcom needs that really nosy neighbor.
Yes, you got to. It should be obligatory at this point. Well, that's great, man. So those are the stickers that you would be getting with an add-on.
Yep.
And you can add those onto any tier, or is it just physical tiers?
I'm pretty sure it's any tier.
Oh, okay, cool. Very nice. Even if you were just to get the digital, you could have the stickers, theoretically. You could just have the sticker sent out.
Exactly.
Okay, nice. Oh, and what do we got here? A prologue mini comic?
Yep, Serpent Specter prologue mini comic that Evan was selling at conventions for a few months.
Oh, that's an add-on?
Yep, that's listed as an add-on.
Very nice, man. That's awesome.
You could get that.
So this is limited edition. So this is once they're gone, they're gone. It sounds like.
Yep, very much so.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Just take a look at some of that. Give you a little dip into the world of Serpent Specter.
I'm already digging like the kind of. It looks like a noir or like kind of like a. I like.
Oh yeah, it's a very pulpy book. It's a very like noir, like pulp, like pulp book.
Cool. Definitely right up my alley.
If you want that, there's gonna be plenty more where that came from.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's great, man. Nice.
Just take a moment to absorb everything you see there.
Yeah, not go too fast. Zooming by.
Zooming by, reading some of the stuff. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean it is really cool. Yeah, like I was just about to say, the art style is really cool in this one too. I love how each of the books that you guys are offering in the campaign have a really unique style.
Oh yeah, Evan, he did an awesome job on his comic. He's really come a long way as an artist.
That's awesome, man.
Damn.
So it looks like a book out of a fairy tale right here, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool, man. And then and we got some Serpent Specter stickers as well.
Yep. You thought it was just going to be one, but
but you were wrong. Dude, these are sick. They're pretty wild too. Freaking that one with the juice coming out, man. That's wild. Nice. And then of course the risk and challenges. You guys can read through that later if you want. But that's awesome, man. That is really, really cool. You guys have some cool books on here, and I like how like you got the comedy and you got the drama, so it really does balance each other well.
Yeah, giving people what could be offered in Gen Comics itself.
Yeah, really, it's a good introduction into Gen Comics. Yeah, that's pretty true. You're right. And,
I mean, obviously we're gonna have other comics down the line, but this is just something that started off.
Yeah, exactly. A nice debut for that lineup, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool. And so with your comic, obviously you said that there's going to be plans for future issues. Do you know if there's plans for any kind of future issues for the Serpent Specter?
Oh yeah, of course. Evan's got like a whole story planned out for this. He's got a whole arc planned.
Very nice, man. Well, that's awesome.
He's still scripting it, but yeah, he's got it good to go.
Excellent. Yeah, and so what do you hope to, like, let's say the campaign gets successfully funded here, and it looks like it is hopefully going to be on the track to do that. what comes next for you? Do you dive into the next Kaiju Days? Do you have any other plans for other comics that you've been wanting to work on?
Chances are we're gonna, well, after we're done with this one, we're probably gonna go back to working on an animatic that we were finishing up. Like Gilly paused work on another animatic to finish that, gonna finish that, and then me and Gilly we're gonna go back and finish Bite issue 0 and finally get that out for people. Oh god, that comic has taken too long to come out.
Hey, I don't
Oh
think we
my
talked
god.
about Bite yet. I do see that here as another one of your comics.
Yeah, that had to
That
be
we have listed.
paused. That had to be paused because at the time when we were working on Bite, while we were waiting for the artwork to be done, I gave Gilly the offer of coming on the Kaiju Days as a colorist to give her some money when she was in between jobs. And
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, it's stuck around just fine. It wound up working
And
out, but the book took too long to get made. Not gonna lie.
here's some of the art from that one as well.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, I do plan that maybe that around like next year.
This
I'm
one's
gonna dive.
as in the description says it's an M-rated comic, so this one's
Yeah,
much more in the firmly in the adult realm.
yeah. It's like next year. I'm planning to go full fledged back into Bite though, because
Nice,
I mean,
man.
there's already a new artist that's coming on the book, and we're gonna be releasing the first issue for free anyway, due to how long it took it to get made. So I mean, I've learned a lot from my previous experiences. So I'm hoping that next time this is gonna go like better.
Dollar Quinces I like, but Carrier is my favorite Rob Livingston work.
Oh, Carrier was another comic project of mine that I was working on that I
Really?
never showed it around a lot, except in like one of my other except in a few in my own
Few
private circles.
yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about it's about like a death world where it follows the adventures of a guy named Hux, and Hux is a carrier. And carriers are pretty much glorified like delivery people on the planet, where they're braving all these dangerous elements to deliver mail.
Gotcha. That's interesting. That kind of sounds like a fun story there. And I have to
Yeah,
say, like you really are such an imaginative talent. Like it seems like all the different stories that you come up with are so unique and aren't derivative of stuff that I've seen before. Like just looking at this panel here that we have up on the page, like I've never seen anything like that, man.
oh,
You
thanks.
know,
I mean, I'm
it's
still
amazing.
working on more Tom and Artie. There's actually a short crime There's like I'm working on the side on doing like some one shots, and one of the one shots I was gonna be doing, it was gonna be like a crime action comic in the futuristic world. And I mean, I was wondering if Wicked was still taking like submissions because I was
Oh,
probably
of
gonna.
course, man.
Oh yeah, I was probably gonna maybe shoot it at you guys.
Nice, man. Would definitely love to talk to you about that, man. Definitely hit
Oh,
us up.
okay, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Because yeah, like I said, you have so many amazing comics, and anything we could do to help out would be great. So, yeah,
Oh, really appreciate that.
yeah, that's excellent. And so, wow, with so many comics on your plate, how do you find time to relax and take a break from it all, man?
I choose certain days for it, but to be honest, I recently feel like just writing comics isn't always enough for me. Like,
Hmm.
it's fun directing it and writing it, but I always feel so disenfranchised because I always feel like I'm not doing enough. I mean, people tell me I still do plenty with what I do, but I do still want to try, new creative things. Like I thought about getting into trying 3D modeling.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
I'm
Interesting.
not yeah, I'm not wholly sure if I'm gonna take the dive into that, but it's something I've been considering. Because like I used to have more skills in the past. Like I used to be able to edit videos. I used to be a video editor. And I haven't done that in years. And it's kind of hard with like how my day job takes up so much of my time. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
that's the thing that just sucks about as you get older, or just with your life in general.
Super
Is
relatable.
yeah, you just the only thing it's not so much just money you want, but you also want time. You want more
Right?
time.
So true. Like if we could just have a hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z and just like pop off for a few hours and get some stuff
Oh,
done,
dude, what I'm probably just gonna wind up doing is just like save up like a shitload of my vacation days because I barely take time off, and just
Oh
like
my
take
god.
like a month off of work.
Wow, you could get a lot of writing done in that time, I imagine.
Exactly. Dude, every
Jeez.
time I take like a week off from work, I get so much done.
Wow. That does sound really nice. Wow. And well, that's cool, man. I love to see all these projects that you guys have got going on, and just
Uh,
or you're it seems like you're always staying busy.
oh, thank you.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
kind of am.
Well, the link, I'm gonna put that back up on the screen again. What are I always like to ask this question for creators who come on and are gracious enough to speak to us and give us your time. I definitely appreciate that, by the way.
Of course.
But I always like to ask, what is something that you would like to tell people out there who maybe are considering backing your book at this time?
My everything I do is for your satisfaction. I want to know that you're enjoying the work, that you're enjoying the comic, and if anything feels off to you or anything feels wrong, I want you to let me know. At the end of the day, I'm doing this for your enjoyment. I do value all the feedback that everyone who's following the book who that they can give me. Ways to make it better, things that you liked in the book, things that you didn't like. My doors and my DMs are always open to you to hear your stuff.
That's excellent, man. I think that's a really nice sentiment, and hopefully people will take a look at your book and back it because I think you guys have a lot of amazing stories to tell, and I'm just really excited and hopeful that we can get you there. So
Thank you.
yeah, you're very welcome, man. It's been my pleasure to speak to you tonight as well.
It's been good
Um,
talking to you.
oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And the comic is at let's see. I'm gonna put it back up on the screen one more time here, just so everyone kind of give a final look at it. But comic has about, I think it was 15 days left here. 17 days, sorry, 17 days to go, and they're already halfway through. So really amazing to see that again. And if we can just keep pushing it and sharing out there, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna get your success there. So really exciting
All
stuff
right.
there,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, you're welcome. And if anyone has any questions for him or wants to find out where, follow all your stuff, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can follow me on at Kaiju Dayz on Twitter. I've also got a Instagram I'm slowly reviving, which is also called Kaiju Dayz. If you just look up Kaiju Dayz on Google, you'll just find everything you need for the project.
It's kind of the perfect title, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
it
yeah, I really love that
it
about it.
instantly stands out. You just gotta remember it's
Yeah,
a Z, not an S at the end. It's a Z.
the Z makes a huge difference, man. Those those
Yeah,
kaiju days.
yeah, exactly.
And again, that's such a fun title for it. It really kind of it's almost like one of those light novel titles where like it tells you what you're getting in for. You know exactly what you're getting in for with this. It's like a slice of life comedy, and you're like I'm
Oh
totally
yes,
down for that.
totally, man.
That's excellent. Well, thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate it. And if we have the opportunity to have you on a future stream, you're more than welcome to join us in the future as well.
Okay, thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks everyone who joined us in the chat. We had a lively chat today. I really appreciate everyone hanging out with us. That was a lot of fun to see all your comments and questions there. And hopefully we'll see you guys on a future episode. Take care, everyone.
All right, bye
Bye.
everyone.